I'll try to keep it interesting. So essentially what we did was we tried to give you a good presentation about the state of push notification today in gaming and where we are headed. So Epoxy got, just like 3 months ago, we got acquired by a company called Teradata. So it's a big company. And one of the things that they do is they have marketing applications. And we're going to be like a major part of their marketing application services. A few words about Epoxy. So you can see we have many companies, gaming companies. So for example, you can see Playtika, Social Point, Win, and PlaySpace, and so forth. Other than this, Teradata are a big company. They have, we have a lot of traction in many areas, not just games. Yes. Okay. Okay. Can you see me? Great. Okay. So push notifications. So you heard before, an average user has 50 apps on average in all times on their device, which means that you need to compete with other games on their attention, which is a major issue. Most of your revenues are coming from a small portion of your users, and if they walk away, or if they're spending time on different apps, it's an issue. And you need to solve this problem by engaging them, re-engaging them, and so forth. 82% of our DAU is from push-enabled users, which means that, and on average, in the industry average, that companies that uses Epoxy, if you look at any user after 6 months, if he's still active, there's 95% that is opting for push notification. Most of the active users are push notification enabled. Now you can say that they are enabled because they are champions, so they would like to receive messages from the app, but you can also say push notification keeps them engaged. It doesn't matter. The important thing is to send them the right messaging, the right content, and what you try to do, this is another cool slide. If you send a targeted messages, you are four times more likely to just to get an app, to get a user open your app than just sending the same message to every user. So what we did, we tried to look at push content, and we tried to give a benchmark of the industry just for this presentation. So we gave a researcher a list of 30 top apps, so the 30 top grossing games in the store, and we tried to see what they're doing with push notification just by reading the push notifications. And so first category is how many of them use personalization, so using the name and the details of the player. So only 7 out of 30 companies uses personalization. 14 of them uses limited time offers. Limited time offers, it's a great way for creating kind of a sense of urgency. So you have something, you need to do it now, go play the game, come back. If you're sending this message at the right time, it can be very effective. User game level updates. In many ways, this is you can use local push for that because you have all the information inside the application. But you can also do very smart push notification with the game updates. And only 2 of the top 30 games using emojis, emoticons. And I'm going to speak about this later, but this is a very interesting tool. It's small, but it's super interesting. So if you look at the split, only 7% uses of the top 30 games are doing everything we just mentioned, and then only 7% are doing 3 out of the 4. 30% are not doing anything, and then 10% are using only local push. which is boring. Local push, it's a great way of notifying users of something that happens inside there. But if you have a local push that goes the same all over the same time, it's like getting very boring, and you'll get uninstalled if you send the wrong push. Okay, so what's the value of push notification? So what we tried here is to simplify the value. So on the left axis, you can see the customer value, and then the number of push sends. So if you don't send any push message, you won't get any value, and if you send too much, then you'll get less value as you send them. So if you send a single push or a local push, you'll only get some value. But then if you segment your users, so for example, if you send a different message to whales, then different message to people who didn't play the game in 2 days, it's going to be different from you. Personalization, we done a test with one company that in the gaming industry, and we can say that they got more than 40% better results when they use personalization. So it's really, really important. Automation, it's a great way to if you automate the retention steps, so you can send one message to users who didn't use the game in 1 day, and then say a different message in 2 days and 3 days and so forth. So it's a great way. And then A/B testing and emoticons. So in iOS, you can use emoticons. This is a great way to stand out when you're looking at all the notification that you have. In Android, you can also use banners. So you can send like a rich Android message, which really stands out. And this is worked really, really well. So we are always talking about what to do with the users who are not opting for push. First of all, I think we should speak about how to get users to opt into your game to begin with. And so we discovered that if you ask users if they want to opt into your game before you ask them so in iOS you can only ask the opt-in question once. I don't know if you know that, but if someone is opting out at the first time, it's very hard for you to get them back in because they need to go to the setting page and it's very complex. Instead of this, you can ask them if they want to receive push messages by yourself, and then, or you can use one of tools, like for example, we have a tool like that. And then if they click yes, then you can ask them the real opt-in question, which is you want them to say yes. So this is a really important thing you can do. Another thing you need to do, and this goes both in iOS and in Android, you need to ask them what type of messages they would like to receive. In Android, all of your users in most of the apps are opt-in automatically, but then if you send them too many messages, they'll delete the app. Instead of this, ask them what type of messages they would like to receive, and then just send them the relevant messages. Another thing you can do is you can ask them the type of messages they would like to receive before they opt-in, and then only if they click on yes, then they'll be opt-in. So this is a great way of making sure that the users will get the relevant messages. Okay, so where we are headed with push notification, which is a very, very important tool. So we already talked about Android push notification, and we also have interactive push. So interactive push, it's a way for you to get, instead of one button, you can use more than one button. So instead of one action, a push can lead into 3 actions. Now, many marketeers are they don't want to send too many pushes to their users. But imagine that you have a push notification, and one of the buttons will say notification settings. Now, the user will say, I don't want to receive this kind of messages again. All they need to do is press notification settings, and then they'll go to the notification preference screen that we just showed, and they'll say, don't send me these kind of messages again. So this is a great way for you as marketeers to ask the question of what type of messages you would like to receive. Other than this, you can have like update now, buy now, all kinds of buttons that are very relevant to the content that you're trying to convey. This can also, you can do the same in Android. Multi-channel marketing. in many games, if you have Facebook Connect or whatever, you can even if you have the email of the users, many games send emails, which is great for users who have uninstalled the game. You can get them back in, or with users that doesn't have push notification. I mean, you can spend money on retargeting, and you can send them emails. This industry, where the industry is going, is eventually you'll have a lot of channels, and push notification is going to be one of them. Email is going to be one of them. Social is going to be one of them. Retargeting is going to be one of them. And the marketer will have a dashboard, and we'll be able to do workflows. So you will be able to say, I want to send an email to all of my users. They want to click on the email. I want to send this kind of push. If it doesn't click on the push, you will get this kind of push. But if you will open the app as a result of the push, you will get a different type of message and a different type of channel, and everything in one dashboard. And then he will go out and have fun with friends, because it doesn't have to worry about all the channels that he have and so forth. That was so key takeaways. You all know it. The small percentage of your users is responsible for most of your revenues. Even the top 30 apps are not doing enough when it comes to push notification. You need to personalize, segment, automate, A/B test. You need to make good use of your push notification strategy. You need to take advantage of the newest developments, Android, rich push, interactive notification, advanced permission, and so forth. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, any questions?
Anybody? Questions? Yes, great.
Yeah. So I'll just repeat the question. So the question was, why aren't many of the game company are using push notification? So they are sending push notification, they're just not doing it correctly.
Well, it's the same question. What are they doing wrong? These are companies that have
Yeah. So this industry is very young relatively to, let's say, the internet. And not all companies has the right person who is only in charge of retention and engagement. Now some companies, the really successful one, so I can tell you that up there in the top 2 we have one client of ours, and then in the other top 2 we have another one. Companies that understand that they are paying so much money on user acquisition, if they don't retain the user, they're actually bleeding money. Now, some of these companies are so successful that it's okay for them to bleed money, while others who do understand that they need to have like someone who is specialized in retention, and then this person really they need to invest in content, the quality content, something like that. The big company that we are working with has a push. Most of them has someone who is expert in push. Just so you understand, it's not an easy task. You need to reinvent yourself every day. Your players are expecting that if you communicate with them, that you'll communicate with something new. The good companies are sending a lot of messages to different segments each time, and it might be with their languages. It doesn't have to all to be in English. And there are many methods of how to do it right. And if you have questions, we're here after the specific question. We're here after this.
Yeah. There are some questions.
Can you give some examples of apps that use this dialogue before the system dialogue about push notifications?
Of course. I'll give you the simplest one. Facebook. If you go to the Facebook Messenger, this is how they do it. They have a box that explains to you why you need that, and if you click no, then they'll pop it out again and again, because you can't use Messenger without being opt-in. But if you click no, then the only way that you can reactivate the app itself, because otherwise it's useless, right? You need to go into the settings and then turn it on. I mean, we have a bunch of clients that are doing that, but I don't want to mention them by name on stage.
This dialogue can be shown before the system dialogue.
Yes, of course. Look,
So
you're in charge. You're in charge of when to pop in this dialogue. It's the system dialogue. So you can have another dialogue before that. It's super easy. It's just a matter of building the app in a certain way. We actually built a template for that, which is very easy to use.
It's similar, like some companies probably also do with app ratings. They don't want people to do 1-star ratings, so they do like a box before to kind of keep those players somehow out of the
we use it
rating.
for ratings, but we didn't think about using it for push notifications.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you have two of them just immediately after each other, one after each other, then it may be a strange experience. So I don't know. Have you tried to have kind of the first qualification, so to say, and then actually have the real push notification at a later stage, or do they come immediately after each other?
It's actually a bonus that they come immediately after each other because the fingers stay in the same place. And you just do okay.
Got it.
And the second option is asking them like a more like advanced dialogue with what type of notification you'd like to get, and only if he marks one of them as I would like to get this, then you'll say okay, then you need to create yes here, and then click yes, and then you need to actually take your finger up and click OK. Yes,
there was another question over there.
Just wondering if you had any insights into how many people actually read their push notifications.
Yeah.
Like, does the text actually matter?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it really depends on a lot of things. We just released a feature which we call the push influence. And what we did was we tested how many push are opened, and then how many pushed are influencing someone to open an app. And we discovered an amazing thing. We looked at churned users, so dead users, users who are, didn't use the app in 15 days. When you have a user who doesn't use a game in 15 days, he's dead. It's very hard to bring them back. And the results were something like 6 to 10 times more influence open than push open. And then we realized that the reason is some of these users or players or whatever, they see, let's say that they're playing a game automatically. When they get a push notification, they either click it or make it go away. And then they're kind of thinking, yeah, I should go back to this game. So in order for them to click on the push, they need to go and scroll to an endless list of push notification that they are getting from all, or they can just open the app. But the push notification influenced them and kind of influenced them to open the app again. So in many cases, push notification influenced someone to open the app, but not directly. And this is a new feature that we have, and we're super excited on presenting it to our clients.
Very cool. Any more questions? No? Okay. Thank you very much, Itay, for this very insightful presentation.
Thank you so much.